talk about this and that and everything else. Mr. Murfreesboro himself, Bill.
Hey,
welcome back to WGNS.
Glad to be here.
What's going on?
We could have left the part about me calling you wanting to be on the show. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm fine. Hey, it's great to be alive and to be up here in the studio.
No, I want to tell you, I'm glad you did, because I was going to just do a repeat show. And, but, hey, we're here in town, so,
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
To all the dads out there. I had a good one. I had a good ribeye steak for a late lunch and on the grill. And I've got some more goodies waiting at home. When I get there, I've got some angel food cake with strawberries and whipped cream.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
I had some hibachi. My son, William, took me to lunch and paid for it.
William, do you have my address? You get my phone number?
No, I appreciate that.
Sure.
He made me, a father. It's not always easy being a father, And I'm going to give a shout out to
it's not.
Dickie Thomas. Happy Father's Day. And my brothers, Mitch and
David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad to be up here, man. These y'all got some new equipment. Jackson's still here.
Yeah.
So,
I got your mother's doing well.
Mom is doing
very well. I still have not met her.
I've
never met her.
Do you remember when she was on the show?
I remember when she called. You had her call
on
in.
Mother's Day.
Was it Mother's Day? Yeah.
It was a few years. It was like 3 years ago.
And I want to thank Carol Ann Elmore. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry Livingston's. I think Terry's back up near Knoxville, I believe. Thank you. All of you that usually listen. Stu Miller, thank you. Hope you're listening.
They can watch on your Facebook page, right?
Do what?
Can they watch this show on your Facebook page?
You can watch Facebook Live. You can watch YouTube Live. We'll get into all that in a minute. I'll tell you what, though, Jackson, let's kick this thing off if we could. But for right now, my name is still Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, and that's a little rock and roll to kick you off for a Father's Day Sunday night, and this is Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm your host, Ed Raymer. Show's produced here at Studios WGNS, AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, you can reach me and Bill tonight. I've already told you who our guest is, Mr. Murfreesboro himself, with your questions, comments, or thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And you can also send us a text to that number. And Jackson, who's working the board for us tonight, will be glad to read it over the air for you. Those of you that do not wish to be heard live on the air. Some of you may be a little bit too shy. We understand that. Again, my guest this evening, Mr. Bill Wilson, Mr. Murfreesboro himself. Now, you can listen to us a number of different ways. First of all, the way Bill and I first got here was listening to us on the good old-fashioned regular radio.
Right.
AM 1450.
Transistor.
That's that square, sometimes rectangular box in the dash of your car. It's called a radio. I don't know, many people don't use it anymore. But there are other ways. And of course, FM, you've got, we've simulcast on 3 frequencies. 1450 AM, of course, as the station has done since the beginning, and then 100.5 or 101.9 FM. And you can reach us. If you're in Smyrna, you can pick us up. We got a good tower strength down there on 100.5. And you can also watch us on Facebook Live. You can go to News Radio WGNS. You can find us there. And we are on YouTube. My wife listens on Alexa. So anyway, you wish to do it. Well, there's a number of ways you can find us. Stitcher, all those other things. Bill was asking a while ago. I can't name them all. There are so many. And
Apple.
We thank all of you. Apple, all the good stuff. Yeah, all of it. And Bill knows more about that than me. And by the way, always remember you can download the WGNS app and take WGNS with you wherever you go. Listen whenever you wish. And I have a lot of people that will not listen to this show until like Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Right.
And they'll run into me here or there. And they'll let me know, hey, I heard Mr. Murfreesboro, good show the other night. And a lot of people do that. They listen by podcast. And listen to Angela Bingham. Check her out. She does a great job. She's normally in here every Sunday night at 6 with Simplicity. And I didn't get to see her tonight. And I got here, Bill and I pulled in about the same time, running a little bit late. And, of course, we had some inclement weather outside, Bill. So
right.
She may have went and got to the car in between the raindrops. Jason Qualls does a good broadcast on financial coaching. Great job. All of our sports shows, of course. And we thank you for listening. Now, Bill, speaking of sports, we lost a long-time legend here in Murfreesboro this week. Mr. Jack Jolly passed away.
Mr. Baseball.
That he was.
Yeah.
And 94 years of age. I'm not going to read you the entire obituary, but it's in today's Daily News Journal. I have it right here in front of me. And, I was talking to his son, John, who John was going to try and give us a call if he gets a chance. They've had a lot going on, needless to say. Excuse me. The one thing, and another great Murfreesboro resident, and I always refrain from trying to use the word great, but he was just a guy that, I'll tell you, he was a lot like your dad was. And when, you talked about, what about this guy? What about, mainly he's just a good guy.
He was a great dude. And
just a wonderful person.
And I have known the Jolly family for probably 50 years or so.
Sure.
Because Dolly Jolly, Mrs. Jolly.
She taught you.
She was my third grade teacher.
Third grade teacher.
And I always said, that's just the cool name, Dolly Jolly. But then John is a good friend. John and my younger brother David, campus school together, and he's like a little brother to me. It's like a little brother, but what a good life to live to be 94 years old.
94.
And he'd been a coach, mainly Oakland High School.
Yeah, and I think he had been, and I want to say this. Mr. Jolly, as I can understand from reading, he had not bounced around. There was none of that going on. No. He had coached. He loved the sport so much. He would coach 8 or 10 years, I think, at one place. There may have been one or two. He didn't stay long. Maybe he was trying to just fill in or help out. But he must have been a baseball guru.
Well, yeah, he was a professional scout for the Montreal Expos
and for the Chicago White Sox. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so he knew. Man. He had a passion. It was
he really did, didn't he? Yeah.
A passion, a coach and just helping people.
That's right.
Period.
But like I said, the one thing about it is people, just always when you finished up said, the main thing about Jack is Jack's just a good guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said that about your father.
Yeah.
Who's no longer with us.
Right.
He's just a good guy.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Right. We should, the golden rule.
Yeah.
But condolences go to Susie, too. Susie, Dolly.
Okay. Now that's
Susie
John's sister.
That would be John's sister, yes.
John's sister? Okay.
That may be John calling.
That may be John calling. Okay. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead, please.
Hey. I look choked up.
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
John Jolly, how
What's
are
up,
you?
man?
I know y'all have been very, very busy.
Well, I thought this was Dee Snyder. I'm just kidding.
I really appreciate y'all talking about my dad, and hey, we really appreciate that.
Well, he's certainly deserving of it, and like I told you, I'll tell all of our people that are listening now. John, me and you have known each other now going back a number of years. And
I would say,
yeah, a long time, and everybody. And I called John on the way into the station, and I told him, I said, we're going to do a little thing for your dad tonight, and I wanted you to call in if you wish to. And I know, say to have your 2 cents, so to speak. But the one thing, and you just heard me talk about, everybody always said was Jack Jolly's just a good guy. I mean, what else?
I don't know if anybody said that.
Hey, hey, John, where did he grow up? Where did he grow up?
He grew up here in Murfreesboro. He was born in Huntington, Tennessee. Huntington.
That's West Tennessee, yeah.
Correct. And then they moved here, and of course, he went in the school system here. But he grew up. He lived over, if I'm not mistaken, he lived for years at like 313 or 630 on North Church Street. He actually lived over there at the corner, also of right across from the old health department, right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He lived right there as a kid when he was about 5 years old. He lived over there around 4th Avenue. I mean, he used to talk about, how parents are. I walked, miles to school, and he really did,
Right.
I'll tell you what, I got it right here, John, if you allow me just a couple of seconds here.
Sure.
He began in 1953. That's when he began his
Teaching.
career in education and coaching at Walter Hill High School.
That's when they had high schools.
I didn't know Walter Hill ever had a high school.
Yeah, Christiana.
Really?
I mean, all your. Yeah.
He also taught and coached at Critchlow Elementary, Mitchell Nielsen Elementary, Tullahoma High School, Smyrna High School, and Oakland High School. His Smyrna High School football team of 1960 went undefeated. His baseball teams at Tullahoma and Oakland won 7 district championships, 3 regional championships for most of his life. Jack was involved with some phase of baseball. And I'm reading this from the Daily News Journal from the obituaries published today.
Yeah,
he retired in he retired in 1988 after 35 years in education. But
he was a storyteller too.
Was he?
Yeah, I mean, every time I saw your mom and dad, they would, they would always tell me, "Hey, we love Mr. Murfreesboro or whatever." But they are genuinely just good people.
They're just good folks. Yeah.
I love Miss Jolly.
The funny thing about my dad is, my mother was 35 and he was 38 when I was born. So, he started teaching at an early age. So everyone, he was in his early 20s teaching high schoolers and stuff like that. So literally they were only, 4 or 5 years younger than him.
Wow.
So when I was in high school, all these people I was in high school with, he had already taught their parents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
It was just, my mom just loves your dad. I'm like, how does she know? Oh, well, she had him and so.
Sure. Yeah. And
but,
did he ever teach you, John? Did he ever?
Your mom taught you, right?
No.
They
wouldn't do it, huh? They just refused.
So at campus,
no,
at campus. So you were Miss Strange's class in 3rd grade.
Yeah, Miss Strange. But I played baseball and everything, and
sure.
I was decent, I guess. But I tell you, when it came to high school, and it was nope, I'm not going to play for him. There's no way. So that's my baseball days ended as soon as it was time for me to play in high school.
Yeah, because he loved the game, but he was serious about it, as I understand.
Very.
Hey, I can hear him now. That's deplorable.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Well, his father, my grandfather, was huge baseball. Played in the Kitty League, which is the Kentucky, Tennessee, something else.
Like minor league? Was that like a minor league?
Yeah, it was like a minor league team for the Red Sox. And but my grandfather is one of the guys. The rules. My grandfather became an umpire and everything too, and started leagues around here and all that stuff. But my grandfather was one of the guys that got along, got together with these 10 other umpires or however many it was, and came up with the rules that are pretty much still in effect today in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you another couple of people, I'll bet. Well, one of them had mentioned earlier this week in the paper, because your dad he's been all over the headlines, unfortunately, because of this. But No, and deservedly too, deservedly so, was Kenneth Coon Victory down in Smyrna.
My father loved him, and Coon Victory loves my father.
Oh, yeah. Coon has had so much to do with so many people, and in another one would have probably, I'm going to guess, and I haven't heard from him, but he listens a lot of the time, was Hooper Peniel. Because Hooper and I think Hooper and Coon played baseball together, and I'd bet you that your dad may have coached Hooper.
Possibility.
You know. See, my mother was just talking about Coon the other day. I think my dad, or maybe I read it. I can't remember. It's been so hectic last few days. I think Coon might have played for him when he was 7 years old or something.
When
like
he was
that,
younger.
You know?
Yeah, they mentioned that.
And Kenny Gerhardt played for your dad, didn't he?
Kenny Gerhardt? Yeah,
Kenny did.
Yeah.
Sure.
But,
I mean, and you could go on. There's no telling, John, how many we're leaving out. And folks, we don't mean to slight anyone, but when you've touched this many lives, you can't start listing them. Those are just a few between me and Bill that came to light, you know.
Yeah.
But John, I know this man, you know, and people always said he'll be missed, but I'm going to tell you, this man will be missed. And his knowledge still, as I understood, even at 94, a great knowledge of wealth, knowledge about baseball.
He had the knowledge, but the thing about my father is even though he had, the past 3 years, he was in memory care at Adams Place, which God bless those people. They are amazing over there. But even though he was in memory care, I'd go over there, he'd be so mad, you know, because I can't remember this. And, you know, it was because he couldn't remember what he ate for supper the night before. I'm like, Daddy, I can't even remember that.
Right. I can't either. A lot of people get upset over that. Yeah.
But yet he'd tell you about him and, I don't know, I'll make up David Thompson, whatever, whomever, you know, make up some name. He could tell you about them going to a ball game in Gallatin in 1953 and where they stopped at what store and what that guy got on his sandwich and what the score was and the top of the third and this and that and the other.
Sure.
I mean, I've seen him with his players that he had for years. He'd tell stories about, you remember we were playing that game against Gallatin or whomever, and it was in the thing, and they're like, Mr. Coach, I don't remember any game. You know?
I'm telling you. John, thank you so much. Thank you for your family. Thanks,
brother. Love you, man.
For your time tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you, and the best to your mother and to your sister. Okay?
Thank you. We appreciate it. God bless y'all. Appreciate it.
Take care, John. John Jolly. Son of the late now Jack Jolly, who passed away this week at the age of 94. Jackson's going to take us to our first series of breaks, and we're very appreciative of that. Mr. Murfreesboro is here. Bill Wilson, stay with us. Ed Raymer with you here. We'll be back right after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry if you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullis Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, and we are back. And Bill, you got a call. What you need? Mr. Jolly had requested red, white, and blue.
Yeah, his funeral's Saturday at Woodfin's. I don't know if you have the time on that, but they
visitation will be Saturday, June 22nd, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. And Woodford Memorial Chapel
family wants everybody to wear red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Because of the Oakland Patriots.
Will be Saturday, June 22nd at 1 p.m. is what time the services will be at Woodford Memorial Chapel.
Over on Las Casas Highway. Or no, New Las Casas Highway.
And the families requested everyone wear
red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
Because of his affiliation with the Oakland Patriots as a coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Todd Newberry, if you're listening, just want to give you a shout out.
Yeah, he Todd is one of my many critics out there.
I love Todd.
I don't think Todd loves me too much. I'll be honest with you.
Todd is he's a good one.
Good.
The real estate market, everybody's like talking doom and gloom, but it is what it is. I mean, people still need houses, you know.
Sure, and we're going to touch on that. And Bill, first of all, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We are already at the point, me and you go back a ways now. I mean, how long does this go on? Well, I hope it goes on a long time, to be honest with you.
I like the graphics and stuff, man. They've picked it up a little bit. When is this building? Maybe I shouldn't talk about WGNS, but when is this building? Are they going to build a new building? Tell us what.
Well,
Scott.
Now this is all speculation, and Jackson would probably know more than me. But as of right now, they were going to build a new building for the station in lieu of all this development we've got here. Of course,
but it's not going to be in this location. It's
supposed to be, as I had heard last I heard, was across the street, and then just do a swap.
Yeah.
Because this building sits right in the middle. I think now Murfreesboro owns all this here except just this one spot that, of course, the Walker family still owns.
Right.
I believe. So,
yeah, there's fixing to be a lot of changes
down here.
There's
about to be a lot of changes. But
Towns Creek's coming up out of Broad Street.
It takes a long time. So anyway, that's the plan there. But I had Jackson. He was good enough to go back. Pettis Reed is on the front. He's one of our fine commissioners here in Rutherford County, Rockvale. And here in the Sunday Daily News Journal. And he is out at his farm, and the headline is, "We need to protect what's left of our farmland." And now, Pettis resides on 40 acres of the remaining. This is an article by
from
Scott Broden. Scott Broden, here in the Daily News Journal. Resides on 40 acres of the remaining 170-acre farm that belonged to his maternal grandparents on the far southwest side of Rutherford County. And
that's in Versailles.
Yeah. Versailles, is that how they say that?
It depends if you're from there or you don't.
Okay. Some say tomato, some say tomato. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
A lot of history there.
Rutherford County lost more than 22,000 acres of farmland between 2014 and 2023, according to studies from the University of Tennessee Center of Farm Management and American Farmland Trust. Now, this is when it gets down to you, Mr. Murfreesboro, because you are in the real estate business.
Oh, it's
the
crazy.
Population It's in here somewhere.
We're about 180. No, the county's about 350 or 4, man. It's close to.
I've got it. The lost permanent residents in 2023, we added 6,400 residents, and that took us to a population of 367,000.
I was close. I said 3. But they say it's going to double in 20 years.
The gain of people topped the state's 95 counties, according to UT, and a study by the Boyd Center Business and Economic Research. Now, Jackson was good enough to go back and pull this up for me. Our population when I moved here in 1980.
We're talking about the county.
The county, not the city.
How much was it? 80,000?
84,000.
Wow. But you know what? In the D&J, Pettis is on the front page, and he's talking about they need to save green space. Of course, you remember Manson Pike is where Medical Center Parkway is. So if you know that was 20 years ago.
I know. It hasn't been that long. I mean, it hasn't been that long.
Dad's office was Dad and Mel Adams had an office at the corner of Broad Street. But it was Manson Pike.
It was Manson Pike.
And there was an Arby's right next door. There was an Arby's.
Because him and Mel had an office there together, and Mel was in the aluminum business too.
And John Salmon ran the Adams Aluminum. It was in the back. But something I did some research. Gallatin has something to where they have to have so much green space per something. But it would be nice if there was some sort of green space other than the greenway, because I just think it looks better. I mean, I know that we're anywhere you go, they're moving dirt.
I know, but
and that's being progressive is a whole lot better than being,
of course. And we've
stagnant.
been very progressive at this point, but that's a staggering figure from 84,000 to 360 something.
4 times, yeah.
I mean, but now you are in the real estate business. You make a living selling houses, selling property. That's part of it. But we have a problem, for example, schools.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to keep building these schools. People are going to keep coming here.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, there was more than 6,300, 6,317 was the number, I believe. And you're bound to talk about this. And I mean, now I'm not privy to a lot of this anymore. I'm not out there in the mix of this. What is being said in private industry? I mean, I'm not asking you any trade secret. I don't mean that. You know what I'm saying. But what's the feeling of the brokers and all that? I mean, how is there a way to handle this?
Well,
from where you
we're
sit?
in a good shape. I mean, if you talk about real estate, hand in hand, California comes to mind. People.
Sure.
Here's what I think happened. Years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people from California, it could be other places, moved here. Why do they move here? Well, the tax rate, there's no income tax. There's a lot of things that you can do here in Middle Tennessee. I mean, you're a day's drive to 75% of the U.S. population.
Sure.
So within 500 miles. So to get mobility, we're close to everything. Nashville's had a boom. If you call U-Haul right now and ask for the where's the number one place U-Haul trucks are being rented, and they will, or destination in North America, it's Nashville and the Middle Tennessee area.
Yeah, they still equate us on a national level as far as that goes. We're a suburb of Nashville,
and
Atlanta's been the same way with a lot of their suburbs too. All those towns around that, but our growth has been phenomenal.
What we're seeing is a lot of people coming here. For the first time, I'm seeing people move from this area to like Manchester,
I know,
to Shelbyville,
yeah,
Woodbury, Tullahoma,
right,
down to Estill
Good
Springs.
areas down there. Woodbury is a fantastic
as long as they're
area.
an hour away, you know, from
sure
an airport or whatever. But yeah, it's going on, man. I think if you had if they were covered wagons now, and you had a sad, like, you could look down on Earth, you'd see these big ruts of the wagons coming from California to Middle Tennessee.
Yeah,
because There's so many.
Exodus is now turned around and is coming back.
But it started years ago.
It started years ago.
When the people from California moved here, they really liked it.
Sure.
And some people could say, well, this is a red state or whatever. I don't want to like get into politics.
I know that. Right.
But people move here because the income tax, they've got, you know, it's a great place. We've got great schools.
That's the reason.
The roads
of all that I ever hear, the top reason is the school system.
And the family members 20 years ago from California, well, they told their, hey, y'all need to move to Tennessee. There's no taxes. It's, you know, guns, whatever. So here's the deal. People started moving here, and then it just caught on like wildfire. And if you've got a house in California with 1,200 square feet that sells for $800,000, naturally they come here or wherever and pay cash.
400,000.
Well, or pay cash. But the housing market is still appreciating. The homes are still going up. The average, I don't have it exactly, but Davidson County, Williamson County, I mean, it's over like $1 million something.
Yeah, Davidson, Williamson, and there's another county. We're leading the way with the growth. We're leading
us, yes.
Top in now we're not talking about just a state. Now we're talking the United States of America.
This whole area, yeah.
Here's some numbers for you from 2014 to 2023. Okay,
so 10 years, 9 or 10 years.
Okay. Agricultural to residential, 9,818 acres.
That's in Rutherford County.
Rutherford County. This is Rutherford County. Agriculture to commercial, 603 acres. Okay. Agriculture to other. Now, I guess that could be schools or whatever.
Bible theme park. No,
yeah, they're going to come.
No,
never mind. Let's don't get into that. 4,864 acres. And, you know, that's the loss for a total of 22,044 acres over the last 10 years. So
there's no more.
I know.
I don't think there's any large farms. I mean, I think we were talking about this in the break. My great-grandfather, his name was Thomas Rogers, bought a farm. He had an option to buy the farm where the landfill is. He had like 200 to 300 acres there. This was like 1915, 1916.
Sure.
This is on my mom's side. So, or he could have gotten nearly 800 acres on Bradeville Road. More land, and it was going to be less money. So they moved from They moved from Sullivan's Bend, which is in Smith County.
Okay.
Shout out to Brent Long.
Okay.
It took them about 10 days or so to drive the cattle. You and I go to Carthage, it takes 45 minutes.
They brought cattle with them. They had to drive.
Somebody had a vehicle, and then the rest were on horses. They were walking. They had to bring the cattle in, all the farm animals, and it took like 8 to 10 days.
That's a great story. That's hard to believe.
In 1947, that farm was recognized in the Reader's Digest as the most self-sufficient farm in the United States. I have a copy.
Really?
They grew their own vegetables. They grew their own cows for milk and beef.
Sure.
Their hogs for sausage, bacon.
Sure.
Their chickens, poultry, and eggs.
Wow.
Grew their own tobacco too, but that's not such a good thing.
Well,
but anyway,
we had a tobacco base at our farm in Kentucky.
Back in those days, that's a pretty big farm, 700 or 800 acres.
That's big farm.
Now, if you go to Wyoming, it's 30,000 acres. I mean,
it's a whole different world.
Back in those days, we had a family garden where that Rogers Park is today. That Papa had give 10 acres to the city to be a park, and it's over off of Cypress.
Okay.
Okay. They got tennis courts. They got a soccer. They got a pavilion. They've got basketball courts. That's where there were some people who lived in a house there. There were some, I guess you call them sharecroppers.
That's what everybody was.
And we had a huge garden there.
Sure, right.
And we would go over there and harvest it. And when we were done, we'd invite, the neighbors, whatever's left over, they got
Come get it.
Get whatever you want.
Get whatever you
and
want.
that's the way. That's the way it used to be.
That
I
is
mean,
right. Sure, it's the way it was.
people took care of each other.
But now you're talking about a huge garden.
Well, it was maybe an acre or so. I mean,
That's a big garden.
That's a pretty big garden.
That's a big
But
garden.
I can remember
Yeah.
not wanting to pick anything, and my grandfather's, I'd run off and say, I'm not doing it. You know, I'm allergic.
I'm allergic.
I'm allergic to,
What were you allergic to?
well, just getting weeds on me, you know. But the biggest thrill was getting to go with the cousins in Bell Hay and
Oh
getting
man,
on the
you can
top
have
baling
you can have all that baling hay. I retired. from
you
that
ever
at
cut
62.
tobacco? It's got the leaves
no.
are
Let me tell you something. Anything
sticky.
you do in tobacco is work.
yeah.
From setting it, planting it, growing the plants, to setting it, to cultivating it. I mean, it is work. Tobacco is a lot of work.
But land back then, you know, we're talking about real estate. That was a big to do. Mom's family had land. My father's family, they weren't. I'm not saying they were poor, but they didn't have. They were hardworking.
Sure, but a lot of people that was just the way you got by back then.
But if somebody wanted to go to college or school, they'd sell. You ever heard the term "sell off the back 40"?
Yeah, sell off
That
the
was
back
to
40.
put a child through college,
Right.
or so. And then where the Arnold house is, the Harold Farm, Daffodil Hills on Main Street,
Okay.
that farm backed up to my great-grandfather's farm. And it was my great-great Walter Ford Rogers. He was a Harvard grad. He was an attorney.
Harvard
in like the 1890s. And he married, it was Mary Harrell. He married a Harrell, but the farm's backed up, and then took her to Jacksonville, Florida, and opened up a law office with some of his brothers.
I'll be doggone.
But I just like I like stories.
Oh, I know you love it. You love the
I'm
history.
gonna write a book one of these days, and
Well, you should. Seriously,
I'll
you
give
really
a
should.
shout out
Yeah.
to Meredith. We have a new dog. His name is Bronx. 'Cause we lost Miller,
Right.
who had
Yeah.
been with Meredith for nearly 16 years, and with me and her for 10 years.
Yeah,
nearly.
right.
So we started looking. It's about a month ago, and we found one in Livingston, Tennessee.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a white lab.
Oh my goodness, y'all have
And
that
he's
dog. He'll be
he's the
rotting as
greatest.
dirt.
He's had his shots and everything, but we had to go to Livingston to get him. I'm like, oh, we'll just go look. You know, if you go, you're going to get the dog, right? So we got the dog, and she's awesome. I mean, as far as training, I don't know about me training me, but she's training the dogs. She's great at that, and she's starting.
My wife's good at my wife has got the patience of Job when it comes to training a dog. She'll work
you're
with
a big
animals.
dog, right?
Yeah, dead right.
But Mayor's doing great with that, and she's starting to play more of an influence in the Mr. Murfreesboro page. She's
Right.
going to start
Okay.
handling all that, which she's a whole lot better than me. And,
Well, that's not.
do you ever get down to the farmer's market? That's where you need to go.
No,
get
the wife goes. Joni goes lots of times, and it's getting bigger every year. You know.
Yeah.
Now,
I was
are
there
you talking about the
Saturday.
one
I'm talking
on the
about on the
square?
square,
On the
yeah.
square.
It
And then we
was
have
hot.
another one out at the
Ag Center on
Ag
John
Center.
Rice Boulevard.
On John
I've been to
Rice.
that one too.
Yeah.
I like that one because it's air conditioned.
Air conditioning. Great
The one
day.
on John Rice is inside.
Well, now this year will be a special year because it's election year. So every politician in the world will be on the square come Saturday.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. Brother, can you spare a vote?
Right. Can you spare? I'm surprised you hadn't had more people trying to get on your show. That's what
Man, what do you think you're
They're
doing
all-
here? That's what I'm telling you.
everybody wants some airtime.
Everybody does, and that's part of it.
Then
That's
you won't
why
hear
we're
from
here.
you won't hear from for another 4 years, right? No, they're just trying to get their name out.
No, they want to get their name out. Sean has been up here. Sean
Wright,
Wright,
he's a good one.
Kurt Wade, Louis Mata has been with
What
us.
about you had Tucker Markham on, didn't
Tucker was on last week. A lot of the others. Amelia Pont, she's been with us. Oh, I wish you hadn't asked me. I'd have probably been able to tell you then. But we're running the game. Tiffany Fee. Tiffany's running for Rutherford County School Board, and we're trying to give everybody a fair shot. And we will, of course. the big election for the city and county is August 1st. Okay.
Well, and early vote was like a week or two before that.
A week or two before that. Are you going to count votes this year?
Don't even bring that up. You heard what happened, didn't you?
I know you.
Alan Farley.
Alan.
Are you listening there?
I hope he is. And because he's
got,
serious about this. I mean, you don't even joke about it around here.
Here's what happened. Several years ago, I don't know what election it was, but we were asked to count votes. I'm like, are you serious? Are you really? No, so we counted votes, and what does Bill do? Bill gets his phone out and starts doing a Facebook Live. And that's...
Well, I didn't know you did Facebook Live, but I saw the photo, and I said, man, that's pretty cool. I didn't know Bill Meredith's going to help out.
He texted me, and then Sheriff Fitch says, hey, you can't do that. I didn't know.
I did not know. No, until you said that, I did not know that happened. Because you and I were on the air together at that time. Yeah.
Or you're going to vote. Put your phone up.
Put your phone in the car. Put your phone in the car.
Leave your phone. But I had no idea.
Sure.
I learned.
Sure.
Now they probably. I don't think they would.
And luckily, nothing came of it. That's fine.
No,
but no, I'll tell you. And you know, our own Hooper Peniel gives Alan highest marks for the ship he's running up there because let me tell you,
it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And you know, he testified in Washington D.C.
on the
on the voting situation we have here. Yes.
Really.
That's how wonderful
now it's done
it
by
has
paper.
become.
The last time I voted in this last election, you vote and then it records it on paper.
It does record it on paper. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what that process is. I just like, you know, I know it's easy, you know, until we have to vote on all these doggone
all the
amendments.
Conspiracies.
Yeah, all these amendments and all that stuff. You know, last election we had for county election, I don't had like 13, 14 pages of, and most of it was amendments. You know,
it seems like you could vote from home, but the tradition.
No, I like going to vote.
I think it's cool.
I like it. You know, it's you know, and we early vote, which is great. And everybody, please get registered.
You need to vote. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, Independent. It's important to vote.
Go vote now more than ever.
Yeah,
it is becoming more and more important because, you know, we had a race. Who was the boy that ran for road board?
Mike Shirley. Mike. Yeah.
He won that race by only
7 votes or so.
Something like that, because I was up at the voter
interviewing
office. No. I was up there, and Brian was up there, of course, and of course Bart Walker.
Yeah.
And we were counting the votes, tabulate them as they come in. Okay,
right.
As WGNS has done for years.
Yeah.
Okay. And we were looking. I was looking for a close race, and at the time, I said, lo and behold, and I think Mike was ahead by only like 3 votes.
Wow.
I circled it in red. We went to a break. I said, okay, Bart, here's your race. You know, because people want to hear that. That's exciting stuff.
Right.
People like it. And he wound up winning. And
unless
I think
you're the loser.
Well, like 7 or 8 votes or something like that. I mean, but that's how important a vote is, you know.
It is. I can remember as a kid listening to the radio, WGNS.
WGNS,
my,
right.
grandfather, when he was running office, and Dad. That was a big thing to gather around the radio.
Oh, man.
To hear.
It was it. That was the thing. Yeah, the radio was, you know, it goes back. It's one thing I don't know. People have said, well, why don't you just do your show? Why don't you do a remote and all that? I like coming up here. Yeah. I like being here at a live studio.
Right.
I just enjoy. I think it's not done much anymore. And if Jackson will get in here, we'll go to our last series of breaks before we cut out of here ourselves.
Yeah, something funny. When Dave and I were little, my grandmother Rogers, Waldine Rogers, worked for Robert Sutter, the circuit court clerk.
Oh, okay.
And we got to go in at, I don't know, we're 4 or 5, and pull for jury, names for jury.
Really?
So I felt as a kid, I probably, convicted some people. I'm just kidding. I thought that was cool as a 5-year-old.
Had an indirect hand in convicting people. Mr. Murfreesboro Bill Wilson's our guest. Jackson's on the board. I'm Ed Raymer for the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Stay with us. We got about 15 minutes left, and we're going to go to our last series of breaks. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Back with you right after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low-maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now, you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back for our last, 10 minutes or so. Bill, what you got going on?
Man, not much. I was going to ask you, is there another show after this? Is there a show?
There is.
There is?
Yes.
Still doing the real estate.
Sure.
That's
right.
That's going. Got some new listings. Training a dog.
Training a dog.
Well, helping. It depends who you talk to. Meredith would say no. You know.
He's not okay.
She has one leash on me, one leash on Bronx. But what a name! His name was Bronx, or is Bronx, and
is he a registered? Is he a registered pet?
He has to be, but I don't. He was a rescue.
Right.
So
okay.
those are I think are the best dogs instead of a.
They are. You can get some good dogs.
Yeah.
You can get
But she lived in New York City for like 7 years, right after 9/11, and for the dog's name to be Bronx.
Bronx. Okay.
Was a sign.
Was that his name when you got him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So how old is he?
6 months, and he weighs like. He weighed 51 pounds. We took him to the vet this past week. He lost like 3 pounds. But man, I'm at 210. Okay.
Okay.
And we go around the neighborhood. That dog is like a sleigh ride. I mean, he pulls me.
He's dragging you.
Oh, the first time
he's taking you for a
jerked
walk.
me around,
Yeah, he's
and I
taking
thought
you
I
for a
cracked a
walk.
rib. I was
Sure.
like, oh my Lord, I've got cancer. This, I've got a hole in my rib. Meredith's like, you sissy.
Yeah.
But he's doing good. He's got pup. He's got those. He's losing his teeth. It's like a child.
Okay.
He's losing his. I mean, like a baby, not a child.
Okay. All right.
But he's losing his teeth. He's just. We try to figure out how much we think he's going to weigh. I'm thinking 60, 70.
It's a retriever. Our retrievers, of course, they were long haired. Okay, and golden.
Yeah. This one's not.
I think got up around 70 or 80 pounds. I think, but now that we never really watched anything. They made sure they had their shots and all that good stuff, But
it's maintenance.
70 or 80 pound dog is pretty.
They like to eat.
Oh yes,
and eats like twice a day.
Right,
and he's got so much energy.
Well, you can get good food for them too. Of course, you can get dog food anywhere. But now I always found with the bigger dogs we had, and we had a beagle hound as well too. Our son's dog, Sparky was his name.
Sparky.
His original, his real name was Nick's Christmas Surprise. That was his registered name. Okay.
And he was what type of dog?
Beagle.
A beagle. All right.
But we got to where we'd buy like the 50 or 60 pound bag out at the co-op. And it was called.
Roy.
It was called.
Was it Old Roy?
No, it wasn't. My wife will not feed him Old Roy. She's got. Joni's got. She won't. My babies are not going to eat that. I mean, she feeds me anything, but I mean, she won't.
Oh, you get the Old Roy.
I get the Old Roy, yeah. But no, they. But it's a maintenance type food. Now it's for grown up dogs, but no, they can fix you up to anything too. A lot of these farm supply places now have all types of pet equipment,
Yeah.
TSC, and all those places.
Right.
You know,
You can actually go wash your dog there because my sister had to take her dog, or I know people also they've gone down there and they give you take your dog in there and you wash your dog.
Sure, you can do that.
The groomers don't
whatever.
like it too much. No, I'm just-
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll leave that as it is.
Yeah.
But,
So what's going on out in Christiana? Anything?
thank goodness nothing much. Had a little rain this afternoon. I had more wind or whatever. Power went off for just a little while, which is really rare
Yeah.
for us. The folks at Middle Tennessee Electric do a great job.
Right.
And it's, it's there, and areas of it's still growing too.
Yeah, it's growing everywhere, man.
It's unbelievable.
But that's also people complain, and I always say this, really the only people that can complain about the traffic are the ones that have lived here for 20, 30, 40 years.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
The ones that are complaining are the ones that are on the road complaining.
Do you think we'll ever see that rail down the center of I-24?
I think it'd be nice. I mean, to be able.
The
Number one,
in
it's
Lebanon,
cool. It's cool.
Yeah, that's right. One in Lebanon. I don't know. Do people pay to ride that?
There's one. I don't know about when William was smaller, when he was 4 or 5 years old. We took him we went to Watertown, hopped a train there, and they had like cartoon characters. And I think they still do this, but we rode the train from Watertown to downtown Nashville, and it had to go through Lebanon. But
do you have to pay to do that?
Yeah, we had to pay.
All right. Okay.
It was it was a special thing. It was a cool thing. But here's the deal: if they already have the tracks there, because our railroad here started like in the 1850s, 1860s.
Sure.
But if the tracks are still there and you have access, I mean, it's just another way to get downtown. Nobody wants to get on the interstate, and
no,
I think it was.
They really don't, and I think that is a thing. I'll tell you what. I think that is a thing. One, between energy costs, talking about fuel.
Right.
Okay. But two, some of us are getting older.
Yeah.
And even some people that are working, they're getting in their 40s, their mid to late 40s or their 50s. You get tired of sitting in a car an hour and a half, 2 hours a day.
Just the wear and tear on your vehicle and
your
body.
vehicle out and your body too. And an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon. You're looking at an extra 2 or 3 hours in your day just to
because you're in your car.
Now, a lot of that since COVID has been alleviated. There's a lot of folks that are working from home now.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Your big company saw that. Why do we need this big building when they can just work from home? It's convenient.
A lot of them, Verizon was one. They sent a lot of their employees. They sent them home. State Farm, sent them all home.
Just work, and they just check on you while you're in your computer. They have a little, open up the room here.
Sure.
It's but having a train or a rail system, I think would be great.
It would be pretty cool.
I think it would be. I mean,
and a lot of people say, well, why don't you just go down there and tell CSX to do it? Because CSX is a private business.
The only thing that people will not like if you're downtown Nashville and you have an emergency or you don't, your power is out of getting out. Like if you show up somewhere,
you're at the mercy of the line. Yeah, that's what you
Uber.
do. Yeah, but again, is this not part of what you're growing into as a bigger city?
That's part of it. We got growing pains.
Yeah, Oh,
that's part of it.
And we're going to have more, you know.
But again, I would say I would rather have growing pains
than
just being stagnant.
Just being
There's
stagnant,
people
standing
who
around,
are
yeah.
envious of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County,
Right.
including Smyrna and Eagleville, Rock. And I will say this, and I'll shut up: the people in Rockville don't like it that Murfreesboro is headed that way. I know. I've looked at maps.
I know. I've seen it.
The little pieces of like a peninsula out in Rockville. There's like 60 acres out there. And some have Texas owned, and they're going to develop it. People in Rockville moved to Rockville for a reason.
It's
The-
country.
It's the country,
It's the
correct?
country, right? But Sean told me, Sean Wright, of course, he's running for re-election. Kelly Northcutt's another one who's running.
Right.
I had Kelly on, but the one thing they're going to be 6 lanes,
Right.
3 lanes each way, eventually.
Right.
And this is in the works right now. It's not. I'm not talking 20 years down the road. I'm talking this is coming about.
Right.
Between here and going to Rockville.
Yeah.
So that will get us almost to Eagleville. Who would have ever thought that? I mean,
It's going to be nice when
I mean-
Jefferson Pike from 840 makes it all the way to Memorial.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
in the works.
Sure.
But man, I want to say thank you for letting me come up here and hang out
no,
with you.
it's not a problem. Glad to do it. Glad to do it. And hope everybody had a great Father's Day, all the dads and all that.
I wonder if Tennessee's winning.
I don't
Tennessee,
know.
They were up on North Carolina. It's like 3-0. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Next big thing will be the 4th of July. Will be coming up.
It's coming up.
Have you talked to Bob Clement lately?
I have not talked to
I'm gonna
Congressman
call
Clement,
him
No,
up.
give him a call if you
I'm
would.
gonna call him.
Let
Yeah.
me know. Let me know how he's doing. First of all,
I will.
you
I'm
know.
gonna call him.
And you know, another thing. Now, next week we're gonna have something you might be interested in. We're gonna have Jeff Murphy, who's the owner of Delmonico's on the square.
Yes, he's a good guy.
And he is the former MTSU
He was a quarterback. Yeah.
and he is going to be with us next week. He and Stephen Reynolds to discuss the NIL situation, name, imaging, and licensing.
That's good. That will be a great show.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
And the
we
portal, you
look
might as well hit
forward-
on the portal while you're
the
at
portal,
it. Yeah.
the transfer portal, and they're going to be with. He agreed to be with us, and I thank him already for that. And that's the plan. So
Great
hopefully we'll get
food,
him
by
up
the
here.
way. Great food.
Delicious, man.
BLT, I love it.
Good. I haven't tried the BLT, but
You
I've
should.
tried. The wife loves the French dip.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
Right.
And great ingredients. I mean,
Right.
he's doing
The
a good
Reuben's
job.
good. That's what Mary has.
I had a Reuben. Yeah. I had pastrami on
Yeah.
rye. Hey, man.
I'm starving, man. Thanks for having me, Ed.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Come
Jackson.
back anytime. Jackson's on the board. We're going to get out of here and make room for our next guest. Our next show, by the way. And my name is Ed Raymer for the Edwin Raymer Show. And I'll tell you what, till next Sunday at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night, everybody.